All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of On Deck with Big 12 Studios. I'm Casey Honigbaum, and today I'm joined by the junior outfielder from Arizona. It's Aaron Walton. Aaron, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us this week.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me and taking some time to talk with me.
Of course, of course. Well, let's start with how you got to Arizona, because I was reading an article this week, and it was really interesting. You were playing summer ball in the NECBL, and I know you had a couple Arizona teammates players who were on the Arizona roster at that time who were your teammates. Can you kind of walk us through that process and what led you to becoming an Arizona Wildcat?
Yeah, it was weird. It was a quick process. It was just kind of one of those things where I felt like I could kind of take a step for my future and just kind of
Yeah.
something like that. But I was up there in Rhode Island with it was Bryce and Owen and Zach, and you know, before I was even in the portal, they were already some of my best friends up there. So that was kind of a good sign. But it was great to have them up there. I was able to ask them questions and just kind of
Yeah.
kind of see what they thought, and they were able to answer them, and they loved it. They gave me all positive things, nothing bad to say. So it was like that was kind of just like a sign, like, hey, like this could be a spot right here.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I wonder too, making the decision to go to Arizona, did the weather play a factor at all? I know you're a Tennessee kid, but I mean, getting to play in warm weather a lot. We were just talking about the cold weather you guys are about to play at the time we record this in BYU. But what was kind of the main factor, you know, baseball wise, as you made that decision?
Yeah, I mean, the weather's awesome. It doesn't
Yeah,
get much better than the weather in Tucson. Um, but no, I mean, the coaches, they're genuine. They care about you. And just from the time I've stepped on campus, it's really just been kind of that welcoming feeling that
yeah.
I felt kind of at home, like with the guys, the teammates. They've been incredible. And it's just kind of that kind of culture that we've got, and just kind of being able to walk in and just feel like you're part of the team has been really awesome.
Yeah, I love that. And obviously, you guys are having a great year. The program in general, third in the conference right now. Um, and you've won three in a row at the time of recording. Obviously, a big win on Tuesday, which you played a pretty big part in as well. But talk to me about some of the team's success this year. What has been working, and how do you guys continue to keep that rolling on as the season progresses?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I just want to give all the glory to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for letting us do it. Without Him, none of this would be possible. Um, but when it comes to the team, I think it's just nobody's trying to do too much. Like, we're just kind of going in there. We're a super talented group, so it's not like we have to have any like superheroes. We can kind of just go out there and have fun and play ball and just kind of do what we can do to help the team win. So I think that's been a huge part of our success, and something that we can keep going and keep improving on.
Yeah, and what does that come from? What do you think is the driving factor for that? Because I think that's one of the more important things, especially in it's talk about different sports and the way that you have success. But I think with baseball, it really is a team sport. You can't just have one player that carries a roster or a team or something like that. What allows you guys to be able to have success in the way that you're explaining, where, you know, no one is trying to do too much, nobody's bigger than the team. How does that type of culture get cultivated?
Yeah, I think it just says a lot about the type of guys that we have in our
Yeah.
clubhouse. So I think it's just baseball's a hard game. You're going to fail a lot. So just being able to be there for each other, and just kind of as we go through the long season, just going through the ups and downs and kind of just staying steady is super important. But yeah, it says a lot about the guys we have here, and just how we can kind of bounce off each other, and just kind of um, like use each other to kind of
Yeah.
just keep it steady and keep it consistent throughout the season.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I want to talk about your performance specifically as well. We touched on it a little bit earlier, but I know you're going to be humble about it, but your slash line's ridiculous so far this year. 350, almost 500, almost 600 across the board there. Six homers, 28 RBIs. You're also at the top of the Big 12 in runs scored. So talk to me about what specifically in your game has been working this year, and how you've been able to, coming from Samford, now coming to Arizona, playing in the Big 12, how you've been able to, translate your game, but then also continue to improve it.
Yeah, I give a lot of credit to the coaches and
Yeah.
my teammates. Just trusting in me and believing in me and just kind of just knowing where we can go with this thing. So it's kind of just being consistent, coming in day by day, and just trying to get
Yeah.
better. But with the guys we have on this team and this lineup, like I can kind of just be in there and just
Yeah.
don't have to do anything too crazy. Just go in there
Yeah.
and do my thing and let the guys in front of me and behind me kind of do what they can do, and it makes it pretty easy.
Yeah, and I mean, you play with like you've mentioned, a lot of talented guys on the field, especially in that outfield as well. And obviously, the outfield has dealt with some injuries this year, but you've been a steady force there. What does it mean to you to be able to be there, and step up when your team needs you the most?
Yeah, I mean it's great. I love to win, hate to lose, so it's just
Yeah,
kind of it's good to be in there and be kind of consistent in what we do and
yeah,
being able to help the team win. But we got a lot of talented players, so it's just being in there doing my thing and helping the team win.
I love that. I want to ask you too specifically about Big 12 competition because that's another interesting thing. As I've gotten to know some of the players here in the conference, I want to ask you your opinion too. But especially as a guy who's transferred, what do you think has been one of the most eye-opening things about some of the Big 12 competition that you guys played? Obviously, there's a lot of talented teams in this conference, but what have you learned about yourself, and what have you guys learned as a team as you've kind of continued on through conference play here?
Yeah, so I mean this is Arizona's first year in the Big 12
Right.
too, so it's just kind of
Yeah.
it's been awesome, really. I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
great teams, a lot of great competition. I mean, we're up here in Provo right now. We got the view behind the BYU's field. We got to practice there last night. It was pretty incredible. So yeah, I mean, just kind of the places we get to go and the super talented teams that we get to play. It's great competition all around. It's been a lot of fun. I'm super excited for the rest of the season.
I love that. Was there any type of adjustment period for you coming from Samford now to a Power Five conference, or was it, you know, business as usual type of thing?
Oh yeah, I think it's the same game of baseball that I've been
Yeah.
playing my whole life. So it's just not making it any bigger than it needs to be.
Right. Yeah, I love that. I have a kind of a funny question for you. This was also in the article I was reading about you, but Big Country, has the nickname stuck? I have to ask because it made me laugh. Because they were saying, I think it was saying like the fans love the nickname, the teammates love the nickname. Are you still slightly on the fence? Has it, or have you kind of come around to it so far?
Well, I knew that question was coming eventually. So I've never
Sorry, I
been
had
called
to.
that. I've never been called that in my whole life. So like
Okay.
I think and my teammates and coaches never called me either. So I don't really know like where it came from, to be honest. But I think it's probably because I'm from Tennessee and
Right.
I've got a country song. That's my walk up song. It probably doesn't help. But I think it's probably stuck now, so I'm probably gonna have to embrace it. But no, it's great. I'm glad that the fans are having fun with it and stuff like that. But no, it's awesome. I love
I love that.
love that.
Oh no, that's awesome. I want one last question here for you, and then we'll let you go. But I wanted to ask, because this is something I love asking, um, some of the ball players that I've talked to so far, um, and I think you could probably answer it in a couple different ways. Being well, obviously with Arizona, this being their first year in the 12, but want to ask if you have like a welcome to college baseball moment. I think every athlete has a welcome to their college sport moment, and it can be whether it's, a summer ball moment, a moment at Sanford, a moment here at Arizona. Was there a moment that you can kind of think of where it was like, okay, now I'm playing college baseball, and then, to kind of go off that, if there was a moment where maybe you or your teammates were like, wow, we're in a Power Five conference. This is the Big 12.
So
It's kind of a
my
tough
my
question, but
yeah, that's a good question. My freshman year at Sanford, I wasn't even playing yet, but we
okay.
we went down to Baton Rouge and played LSU, and that was the Paul Skeens Dylan Cruz national
Oh
championship team.
man.
So I wasn't even playing yet. So I just got to sit there in the dugout and like we had 10,000 or so fans screaming, screaming, calling Baton Rouge. We got
Yeah.
Paul Skeens on the bump, just chucking 100, and
Oh
Dylan
my
Cruz is
God.
hitting backside homers, and I was sitting there like, all right, here we go. This is college baseball. This is awesome. So that would be probably my welcome to college baseball moment. But since I've got to
That's a,
Arizona, it's been just boys.
yeah.
So, but that was pretty
That's
that
a
was pretty that was pretty cool to watch.
that's a tough one. That's a tough one to top. What can you talk to us about? Because I mean, that's like seeing that kind of. I always wonder with some of the best athletes in their sport, like yourself, like those guys, seeing that in person. Is there is there a little bit of healthy fear when you're seeing 100 like that, or is there that competitive gene that's like, no, let me get up there and see what I could do with that?
I mean, I think I wouldn't say fear. I think there's
Sure.
definitely like, oh, geez, this guy's gonna be the number one draft pick. But like
Yeah.
at this, like especially as a freshman. Now it's not so much. But like as a
Right.
freshman, you're like, oh, geez, like this is Paul Skeens. Like he's throwing 100 and
Yeah.
playing like that kind of thing. But at the same time, you're like, yeah, that's Paul Skeens. He's throwing 100. Like let me get up. Like so
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool,
I like
especially for
that.
the younger guys. Like playing in these environments, just kind of being able to be here and kind of witness it, it's going to help them down the road. And I think experiences like that
Yeah.
have helped me just kind of be like, oh, like I've been here before. Like it's just baseball, man. It's just you're just playing ball. We're out here having fun.
Yeah.
And just not like I said, not making it any bigger than it needs to be. So I think it's awesome. I think college baseball is a great sport and a great thing. We've got a great thing going. I'm excited to see kind of where it leads.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everybody is. I think Arizona fans are as well. And, just to finish off, I know I won't ask you about your nickname anymore, but one of the quotes that really did stick out to me was you talked about why you wanted to come to Arizona. And, the biggest one you said you repeated was, I want to win a championship. What is it about this team that you think is going to make that a reality?
Yeah, I think we've got a special group. We got a lot of talented players. I think we've got a belief within us that we can make something happen. So I think we'll see where it takes us. Keep doing what we can do, and just not trying to do anything that we don't need to, or like that's kind of more than
Yeah.
more than we need to is what I mean. But
Yeah.
just kind of we'll see where it takes us, and I'm excited for the rest of the season. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I love that. Well, Aaron, this was awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us. And fans, if you want to check out more of what we have here with baseball on the Big 12 Studios page, you can check us out on YouTube and you can follow us on all of our social media platforms at Big 12 Studios. So, Aaron, thank you so much for taking the time. This was awesome.
Absolutely, thank you, Casey.